The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. They said it could not be done. They shouted from their media houses in Paris that Mali will collapse under the weight of a total blockade. But today, the reality on the ground in Bamako tells a completely different story. This is the narrative of sovereignty in action, where the Malian armed forces, FAMA, have proven that no T group threat can starve the people of Mali. The T groups made a bold claim. They declared a total blockade, promising that not a single drop of fuel will reach the capital. They moved to cut the corridors, hoping to paralyze our economy and leave our homes in darkness. But look at the result. On Friday, May 1, 2026, more than 800 fuel tankers successfully entered Bamako under heavy military escort. This was not a small victory. This was a massive logistic operation that saw tankers carrying gasoline, diesel, and baton gas rolling into the city. The authorities have confirmed that the country now has enough stock to meet its needs, despite the desperate attempts of the enemy to stop the flow. The African has risen, and this time round, nothing is going to bring us down. No more bowing down. While our soldiers are on their front line, risking their lives to secure these convoys, we see another battle being fought, the battle of information. We see media houses like France 24 and other French outlets using their platforms not to report the truth, but to spread the work that they do best, the propaganda of the T groups. When the T groups announce a blockade, it is the French media that amplifies it first. They use their mouths to spread panic, talking about total blockade and impending collapse, acting like the PR department for the very group that are unaliving our people. They ignore the success of the 800 tankers, yet they are first to report whenever a single truck is attacked. They have become the mouthpiece of the enemy, trying to use psychological warfare to break the spirit of the Malian people, the AES, and all of us in Africa, where the T groups fail on the battlefield. The truth is clear. Mali is standing tall. The front line is not just a military line. It is a line of resistance against lies. The 800 tankers are proof that the alliance between our security forces and our partners is working. While the French media continues to predict our downfall, our convoys continue to move, and our lies continue to stay on, and the African power continues to rise. We see through the lies. We know who is standing with us and who is standing with the T group. The blockade has failed totally. The tankers have arrived, and the narrative of sovereignty will continue to prevail. Motherland, we shall overcome.
We're here when we heard about the T group telling us that there's going to be a total blockade. So there's not going to be anything that will enter when it comes to fuel especially. But newsflash, the FAMA, the armed forces of Mali, together with their partners, Russia, the African Corps, has successfully escorted over 800 tankers carrying diesel, carrying gasoline, like mention anything. And now, according to all in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the Most Loud, General Assimi Goita, they even have overdose. We have enough in stock. So the plots that France 24 was quick in spreading, that there's going to be a total blockade. Mali in crisis. Mali is not in crisis. See, the fuel is in. They are just the mouthpiece of the T group. Before these people do France 24 and all the French media like that. But newsflash, I hope they will also help us report about the 800 successful tankers that entered into Bamako. This is amazing. Our leaders are doing excellent work. They thought that this is going to break us, but the African has shown resistance. We are proving to these people that enough of oppression. Enough of oppression. We have had enough. We have seen that we cannot have our resources and we'll continue to be poor. It's not possible.
Nothing is going to bring us back into oppression. We have risen and we'll fight. They try to tell us how weak we are. The defense minister is gone, so we are weak. There's nothing we can do. We need them to come back and help us. The very moment all the fire was ignited, instead of them to wait, they just couldn't wait. They started spreading how we need them back. But the African is telling the world, we only need the African. We need ourselves and not any other person, because the world can never grant us the security we need for ourselves. The African they used to see as a child has grown, and we want to take responsibility of our own selves. Even if we haven't seen anything, we saw what happened in the Middle East, where the security of other people was a failure. To the point they came out telling the world how they were abandoned when they needed these same people the most, after using their soil to launch strikes. So we have learned our lessons. They have always been the ones who projected us to be weak and we can't do anything for ourselves. But when we decided that we want to prove to them, they rose up to intimidate us, so it will look as if the African can do anything. But no, the African is not weak. Because even if we have forgotten anything, we remember one thing. That was Second World War. How we were taken out of the continent to fight a war that wasn't meant for us. We defended the United Kingdom. We defended France. So how can a people who rose up those days to protect people, to fight for people, now be people who are weak, they can do anything for themselves? That should tell you, you were never allowed to prove to the world how capable you are. And that is the narrative the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are rewriting. They are changing everything. The script is being written again. Africa is capable. There is nothing we can do for ourselves. All you need is yourself. Those of us with the mentality of foreigners coming in because Russia has failed us. The time for you to start thinking that you need no other person but yourself is now. At least even if you haven't learned anything, what happened in Iran should teach you a lesson that you don't need anybody, because the same people who promised the Gulf states protection, they said when things became hot, they abandoned them. So as Africans, we only need ourselves. We need to defend ourselves, to build ourselves, and to be ready to fight for ourselves, and not to be dependent on other people for our survival. Dependency will only make you a slave to other people. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.